Good afternoon and welcome to the Yokohama Arena, our venue here today for game number 1 of the finals for the B-League season 2023-2024 between the RYUKYU Golden Kings and UTSUNOMIYA BREX. This is a dream made in heaven, and we're going to tell you exactly why in just a little bit. But before anything else, we'd like to thank all of you for joining us here this Saturday afternoon. Anthony Starr here together with Josh Bett. And Josh, good afternoon, and please tell everybody why you feel this is such a compelling finals. And there you can see our bracket on how these particular squads made it here to the finals. They went through a ringer. It wasn't easy for any of these squads after going through 60 games in the regular season and then here in the B-League Championship just to make it here to the final dance. And so they're here for all the marbles. And you know, Josh, both these teams are stacked from top to bottom, and that's probably one of the main reasons why they're here in the final dance. Would you say also that these two squads are here in the finals because of all their experience compared to the other teams that have made it to the playoffs? Well, that gentleman right there, one of the unpredictable coaches, but definitely he knows what he's doing. It's going to be also a nice battle when we have both these coaches. We've got Coach Zico on one side and Coach Dai on the other. And I think it's just fitting. You want to be able to have the two best teams in basketball here in Japan facing each other. We got to have the best officials to make sure we've got A+ action right here. And now, before anything else, let's enjoy the fanfare that they've prepared as they introduce both these squads. And there you have the starters for both these squads. It's a matchup made in heaven. What a starting five here. You know, one of the main concerns here, Josh, is the health of one of the imports of the Golden Kings in Aluma. He has totally impressed me all throughout the playoffs, and even during the regular season. You could see his game growing by leaps and bounds, and he has shown everybody that he does belong here on the big stage. That is something we're going to be looking out for as we are underway here for game number 1 of the B-League Finals between the Golden Kings and BREX. First possession to Newbill, and let's see if Vic Law can stay in step with him and shut him down. High pressure being shown by Vic Law. Again, Newbill escapes, sets up an open teammate. That's going to rim out though. Almost always Edwards will make that shot, misses there. Inside, nice spin, kissing it off the glass is the man we were talking about, Wacky. Nice defense once again by Law, getting a hand on that one, and we're gonna have the possession going the other way. At the same time, you can see it, just a second possession and already they have somebody different guarding Newbill, so they're trying to show different ways to be able to try to stop him. Wacky's bringing it down. Gets it to Law. Law tries to make his move, goes to the corner. They're going inside to their big man, Alex Kurt. Kurt trying to pound it inside, goes to the baby hook, a little bit too strong. Newbill will stop and pop and misfire. Long rebound's gonna go back to BREX though. Newbill trying to operate. He's got a mismatch here against Jack Cooley, and he'll blow by him. They go inside. Jack Cooley couldn't get it. Nice interception there. Well, he's all over the place here, Josh, early on. Nice swing. Jarrett kisses off the glass, a little bit too strong though. Wacky's trying to push, goes all the way in. Basket and one opportunity here for Wacky. And he shows you he's a complete player. He can also hit from the outside, and he can finish with either hand equally strong. First personal foul going to be called on Yosuke Endo. Also, it's going to be the second team foul. Ooh, misses everything there. I don't think it did, but they're going to get 3 points. It's now 7-2 quickly here for the Golden Kings. That'll be nice to be able to check again. I agree with you totally. Bounce pass, gets to Jarrett. Jarrett launches a three. Nothing doing. Matsuwaki. That's going to stop play here. Almost 3 minutes gone in game number 1. Rock is just so active. That might be an offensive foul. And it is.
Foul, 45, first personal, first.
They're right here. Again, disputing another title. They go inside. Edwards, his first basket. 7-4 early tally. Up high, Law. They blitz him. Onodera is going to attack. Goes to the wing. Wacky for three. A little bit too strong that time. Almost another turnover. Recovered there by Edwards. Newbill asking for everybody to spread out. There's no movement here until they go to Jarrett inside. Grant, that's a great pass. Law finds Kurt. Kurt blows the layup, but once again, always there for defensive rebound, Jack Cooley. That's a good way of putting it. Gavin Edwards from three. He is now 0 for 2 from long distance. Checking in right now, Shinji Takashima, number 12 for BREX. Together with that gentleman there, Atsuya Ogawa, number 7. Makoto here, Jima with an early rest here. There's Jack Cooley. He knows if it's a miss. That's why he gets up there for another offensive board, and he gets fouled. Heading to the line now is Big Jack. And I'm going to say one thing, Josh. Good luck. Many have tried, and I think all of them have failed. Well, you know you got a keeper when you get somebody like Jack Cooley. Checking in for the first time, that's Yoshiyuki Matsuwaki, the three-point gunner. 5-point lead enjoyed here by the Golden Kings. Possession with BREX and Newbill. Newbill puts up a three and hits. The defense was right there, just better offense. Law trying to put his imprint here in this particular match. Launches from deep and hits. That was Matsuaki. Yes, they have. There's JDJ again, showcasing his skills. Now he's going to try to hammer it inside. That's just a nice matchup. Kurt turns around, comes up short. Chance to tie things up here or take the lead. DJ, little stutter step, sets up Grant, and he rattles that one through. That's a big ask for somebody like Kurt and for Cooley. Can't finish inside, was wacky. 3-on-3 break. They're gonna pull it out. Newbill once again. That's a great find. Open three. Yes, they've hit 4 threes. UTSUNOMIYA BREX has. And that 3 has given BREX a 4-point advantage. We'll be back. What a thrilling matchup we've had so far here in game number 1, and a good sign here for the squad of the Golden Kings. Kevi Aluma is now in the ball game. Quick timeout had to be called by the Kings there. They lost their lead, which was once at 5. Now they're down by 4. They blitz. Kirk's gonna get it. Little drop step, and he's gonna get hammered.
First toss on team 4. Soviet now in penalty situation. At the line, RYUKYU, number 53, Alex Scott. Shooting 2.
Let's see if he's been able to work on that in practice. Makes the first. Kosuke Takeuchi is in for the first time. The veteran, still serviceable at 40 years of age. All that experience. Here is a missed free throw. Looks like he's going to get a replacement though. Early entrance here from DJ Newbill. So many naturalized players Alex Kirk being one of them. New build, that's a deep three. Short. And Kirk will bring it up. Two-man game. Alex Kirk. Law. Goes to Aluma. Tatsuya Ito in the ball game for the first time. Aluma will attack. Up and under move. No. Shot clock still continuing to run. Doesn't realize it. Puts up a prayer. That's short. Let's see if they have the opportunity to run another three. Knockdown. That's 5 here for UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Lights out scoring here being done. Aluma, strong attack. Can't finish, but a foul's going to be called there on Isaac Fotu, his first.
Soviet number 42, Isaac Fotu, first on his ball. Substitution, Soviet number 33, Gavin Edwards.
And you can see, it looks like he's at 100%. No limp whatsoever.
And number 6,
on your screens now, in the ball game for the first time, Seiji Ikaruga. Boy, the shock troopers have done their job. Not only that, they were contributing, Josh. They did so well at such a young, tender age, and it just shows you that basketball in Japan is so vibrant. Aluma's going to make the second, cuts that lead down to 5. They go inside. Makoto with a jumper. No tap in there by Isaac Fotu. Ito likes to quicken up the pace. Up against Ikaruga. He's got the mismatch. Far away from the basket, but not near. That's clearly a kickball. (21-16) our tally. Jack Cooley up high. Finds Ito. They go inside to Jack. That's great hands. And he finishes inside. Cooley now with 6 points, together with 4 boards. Under a minute remaining here in the opening quarter. They rifle it inside. That's great defense from Aluma. Blocked from the back. Matsuwaki being very patient, then hoists up a 3, a little bit too strong. Get the stop there, but right now the ball right back in Brex's hands. Will they be looking for a quick 2-for-1? Maybe not. Deep 3! Once again showing why he's one of the best shooters in Japan. Final seconds of the opening quarter. That's a poor foul. That's going to be 3 free throws for Aluma.
First personal foul. At the line, RYUKYU, number 12, Kevin Alman. Free throw. 3 shot.
There's a big man that they're missing. Ryuichi Kishimoto out with a fracture. It's definitely not easy, but he should be given serious consideration. 2.9 remaining here. The heave. Good line. Just back rims that one. An exciting first period of play. And after 10 minutes, UTSUNOMIYA BREX leads by 4, 24-20. Welcome back to the Yokohama Arena for game number 1 between the RYUKYU Golden Kings and UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Anthony Starr here together with Josh Bett. And Josh, what a great tempo that we've seen here for both these squads actually in quarter number 1. Coming in for the first time, Shogo Taira, one of their backup point guards who has also had solid play so far in the playoffs. Jack Cooley scores once again. He's got 8 points. He's also a very good free throw shooter. Foul's going to be called here, Matsuwaki.
Foul, number 50. Matsuwaki Yoshi. First personal on team first. From sideline, UTSUNOMIYA basketball.
He's also a very physical defender. Wears down the offensive player. 3 drops once again. The defense was right there. Again, just better offense. That was the hand in the face, and he was hitting that one, falling away. Jack Cooley not able to get that offensive rebound.
UTSUNOMIYA ball.
Look at the confidence of Ogawa here. Didn't matter if the defense was right there. He just took it and swished it through.
先ほどの宇都宮ブレックス小川選手のシュート、スリーポイントシュートと、コート上ではジャッジされましたけれども、スリーポイントだったのか、ツーポイントだったのかをビデオで検証いたします。
Actually, the first stoppage of play that we have here.
さあこちらのショットについてスリーポイントかツーポイントか確認をいたします。
He was clearly behind that line.
お待ちください。
So officially 27-22. Both teams have actually led in that first period. RYUKYU by 5. That was at 7-2. And the biggest lead for BREX was at 6. Oh yes. Oh, what a nice block there from Jack Cooley. Saying you don't want to come in here with some of that weak stuff. Ooh, they're going to call a foul though. That's on Shota, his first. Second team foul for the Golden Kings. Well, at least Jack Cooley said there was no three-point play opportunity. Makoto a little bit too strong on that first though. One of the few misses you're ever going to see him make from that free throw line. Well, talking about Watanabe, when the Jets acquired him, everybody was saying, give them the championship. But, as he said, injuries really play a huge part. Onodera's gonna launch from deep, no. They're trying to run. It ends up once again with a youngster. Ogawa looking for space. Ogawa inside! Can't finish though. He was worried about the shot blocking ability here of Cooley. Aluma. They'll slow things down. Gonna move that around. Arakawa's in the ball game. Arakawa will launch. A little bit too strong. Aluma. Push shot not gonna work. No look pass to the wing. Jarrett will overshoot. That save. Wow. What an effort there just to keep that alive. Seven players getting ready to check in. Taira will go inside to Jack. Jack will go to his left hand, come up short, but again, as expected, he'll get the offensive rebound. Three and a half gone here. Jarrett That's a nice find. Fotu with an easy layup. Timeout's going to be called here by Coach Oketani. He needs to talk things over. His defense has allowed just so many easy baskets coming from UTSUNOMIYA BREX. UTSUNOMIYA BREX enjoying their biggest lead of the ball game at 7 points at 31-24, forcing the hand of Coach Dai to talk to his boys. Nice recovery there. Alex Kirk had to give that one up. And we're coming the other way. Gavin Edwards inside, the flip, no. Viclaw will go inside to his big man. Jack Cooley, yes. Already 12 points. DJ Newbill, that three just getting coughed out. Jarrett sets up a teammate. Bang! Another three here. That time from Takashima. UTSUNOMIYA, goodness, they've had 8 threes already. Biggest lead at 8. 34-26. I agree with you. There's Kishimoto hoping I should have been on the court to go to battle with the soldiers that are ready. Viclaw falling away, not gonna work. That's a great steal there from Newbill, coming to the passing lanes. And he'll push. He had only one thing in mind, which was to get to the cup. Well, that's for sure. Coach Zico has got to be pleased with where his team is at this point. They're up by 8. And as you said, a well-rested Newbill who's on the line for 2 shots. I agree with you. That's the turning point as far as he's concerned. The lead is now 10. 3 team fouls already for the Golden Kings. They need to find out a lot of solutions to so many problems. Kirk will try to go inside the pass. A little bit out of the reach of Waki.
ここでオフィシャルタイムアウトに入ります。
Another timeout on the floor. Exceptional shooting here by BREX has given them this 10-point lead. You can see the scoring leaders here for RYUKYU in double digits. Jack Cooley, Law with 6, Waki with 4, Aluma with 3, and Alex Kirk with 1. So far, 2 out of 8 are the Golden Kings from deep for 25%. Not bad, but compared to their opponents who are shooting 47%, 8 out of 17. That's the big reason why they're trailing. The shot not gonna work. Here comes Onodera out of the pack. That was a start. They gotta stop. Now they gotta score though. Aluma to the wing. Onodera for 3. Back rims that one. Again, Alex Kirk showcasing his offensive rebounding skills. We go to the wing. Aluma almost lost it. Puts up a 3. Try to bang that off the board, and an easy bucket there for Gavin Edwards. Kirk forcing the issue at the right place at the right time was Waki. That gets them to within 10 once again. Oh, an offensive foul is going to be called on Edwards. Looks like he was being held. And he pushed off. No. That was like... Didn't actually need to do that. Zico's gonna give him a rest as we approach the 3-minute mark. You can see Coach Dai not phased. Well, they did that against Sanen in the previous series, and we're going to have an offensive foul, this time on the Kings.
Offense foul, number 12. Gavin, our first box on the 4.
It's on Aluma. There it is. Setting that moving pick. The Golden Kings are in the penalty. They also got into the penalty. Well, It was BREX that got into the penalty in the first quarter. Minutes and change before the halftime break. Newbill gets it past the timeline. They go to their main scorer. Quick pass to the wing, another three. Not that time. Cleared by Kirk. That's what they gotta do if they want to come back. Onodera against Hiyajima. Tries to get away. Makoto with the steal. That has been a main concern, especially with Kishimoto out. Big Law looking for space. Falling away. Hits that over the outstretched arms of DJ Newbill. Takeuchi back on the floor. Shot clock down to 4. Newbill realizes it. Issues a poor pass. Here's Low. They're trying to speed things up. Onodera, quick three. Will overshoot. Aluma, a three of his own. Still nothing. Especially since you're trailing. As you said, you've got to look for good shots. Slowing it down, changing the pace a little bit, is Newbill. They go to the wing. That's a challenge three. And a timeout is going to be called by the Golden Kings. Coach Dayo Katani wants to make absolutely sure of this next offensive thrust. Coach Dai, very animated in that huddle. Now let's see if they can execute. And he does have a lot of experience. Let's see if Wacky and company can get this lead closer. They're trying to blitz. Tatsuya Ito has to kick it out. Gets it right back. Shot clock is down to 5. Tatsuya gets away from the defense, but it's not going to drop. Again, cleaning up the mess is Jack Cooley. He's got 14 points. The BREX want to score here. The momentum has now swung over to the other side. Fotu puts up a 3 short. Long rebound goes to them. Difference now of about 6 seconds from the game clock, shot clock. I hear you. Endo from deep. Leads back up to 9. Does Law realize it? Forces that one up, and a foul's going to be called on DJ. You could easily be going into the halftime break already up by 9. That's a comfortable lead. But 3 free throws coming the way here for sure. There was still time remaining. That'll be more than enough time for a heave. But again, I totally agree with you. Coach Zico has got to be livid on the sidelines there. They've given up 2 free throws earlier off fouling a 3-point shooter, and right now, potential 3 more points given up. Law makes the first. 2 more coming up. Go ahead. DJ Newbill also from the NBL. All 3 free throws down. 1 final heave. They're not even going to try. We've had a fantastic game here so far. And after 2 periods, leading by 6, UTSUNOMIYA BREX at 41-35. Well, we'll see what happens, but second half coming up in just a bit.
チャンスだけみんなでクーリーのところをマジ何人も人数かけないと1人と
So we need a number for the rebounding. For the truly
おい絶対 N1 刺すなよ N1 刺すな思いっきりファウルするな
no N1.
もったいないから
Second chance.
リバウンド取ったらボール下げるから
今シンジがめっちゃさ
They're good. They've been to the championship before.
で相手もチャンピオンシップの経験あるし、いいチームだから。
But so have we. Like this is not the game to be like, oh, let me pass open looks now.
でも俺らもこの経験あるし、シュートフリーな時に、これ迷ってどうしよう、パスしようかなって考えるゲームだよ。
Like we got here for a reason. We're supposed to be.
ここに来たのには理由があるし、ここにいるべくしているから。
When we get rebounds, second half, when we get fucking rebounds, push the ball. Like we gotta
リ
play.
バウンド取ったらプッシュしよう。バスケットプレーしよう。
There've been a couple plays here and there that have shown like, what are we waiting on, guys? Like we're down 6, but what are we waiting on? If you have a chance to drive, fucking drive it. If you can get a rebound, get it.
で何回かなんかみんな迷ってるプレーがある。だから後半はそこを捨てて、リバウンド取ったらシュート行っていいし、プッシュできるときはプッシュしていいし、リングにアタックしていこう。
They have number 7 is a young guy, and we're down 6, and he's made 3 threes.
で7番、まだ若い選手だけど、自分たち今6点負けてて、あいつがもう3本決めてる。
It's like we're right there, but it's the little things. Like,
Thank you, Nancy! 改めて両者に拍手をください。ジョーダン勝利でした。
Right now, we're taking a look at the highlights here. From the first 2 quarters of play, it has been a very well played game number 1 here. Let's see if they try to be able to make that adjustment in the second half, but right now, they also have to find a way to sort of stop this scorching shooting being done from 3-point distance. 42%, 9 threes already out of 21 attempts for BREX. Little nudge there from Jack Cooley. He gets that rebound to go. This is a big 3. Just when the Golden Kings were starting to seize momentum, Endo knocks down that 3. Oh, that's for sure. Rebounding numbers, the advantage of the Kings, 28-16, so that's plus 12 off the boards. Well, you've got to hand it to BREX. They really took care of that basketball with just 2 turnovers. You know, talking about Ito, I'm very surprised about the fact that in the previous series, he wasn't really able to make an imprint because we know the quality of Tatsuya.
この両チームの特徴がよく出た前半戦。さあ、ポイント差は6ポイント。後半戦このゲームはどのように動かして勝利優勝に一歩近づくのはどちらのチームなのか。
Oh, they should be. They really lorded it over, and when you have somebody like Kishimoto out for the Golden Kings, that is a big piece for that pie of theirs. And also talking about Masahiro Waki, he got off to a very good start, Josh, in the first period, but seems like in the second quarter, he was non-existent. Second half underway. Welcome to the third period of game number 1 between the Golden Kings and BREX. BREX with first possession here. Trying to look inside, they get it to Gavin Edwards. Up against the local, and RYUKyu had no choice but to quickly foul him.
Foul is number 18, RYUKyu, second personal, the first.
Baseline inbound, Newbill. Gets to Hyojima. Hyojima knows a lot of time remaining. That was a solid pick there. Newbill for 3, yes! Lead quickly back up to 9. Yes, it is. Nice tap there by Jarrett just to get it out of harm's way. DJ Newbill, that's too easy. Getting away from the slow-footed Jack Cooley. And here comes Newbill, already with an 11-point lead with possession. Endo not rushing things. And get it back to DJ. Gotta make their move now. Shot clock is winding down. Newbill might have traveled. But they say no, play on. Here's Law. That's what he's got to do. Nice spin. Open 3, Jarrett can't convert. Makoto comes away out of that skirmish. And 2 minutes quickly gone here in the third. Newbill. Felt he got fouled. Good defense there by Jack. Gonna go to the wing. That pass behind RYUKyu. That's an excellent point right now. That is turnover number 10 for the Golden Kings. Makoto will launch. A little bit too strong. Law in the open court. Well, as you said, looking for easy opportunities. RYUKyu on the line for 2 shots.
Foul, shooting number 6, Ryukyu, first personal, the first. We saw 2 shots at the line, RYUKyu.
RYUKYU's first. Makes it. First personal foul going to be called on Makoto. Another free throw coming up here for RYUKyu. As we take a look at the bench. Not as concerned yet. Nice rebound by Grant. Looking for Hyojima. Back out. Gavin Edwards. Open 3. Bang. Leads back up to 11.
Foul, shooting number 33, Gavin Edwards, third personal, team second.
That's going to be the third personal foul of Gavin Edwards. A little bit of concern here for Coach Zico. Here's Law inside that paint. His jumper too strong. And Makoto will try to push. That's a good point. Makoto puts it up. And a foul's going to be called there. He actually just pushed. And he got caught. That should be 2 free throws here for Makoto. So they dodged the bullet because those 2 shots from the free throw line are almost automatic for Makoto. Jarrett for 3, a little bit too strong. 2-on-1 break. Newbill scores. This is now going to be the biggest lead in the ball game for either squad. 13 points, the advantage of UTSUNOMIYA BREX at 51-38. Once again, another timeout here from Coach Oketani. Six minutes, 17 seconds remaining here in quarter number 3. Badly needed timeout there by the Golden Kings. Law gets it inside. Cooley. Kirk with a putback, no, but he will be fouled.
Second personal in third. Free throw, 2 shots at the line. RYUKYU, number 53. Call.
Second personal foul going to be called on Hiyajima there. And Gavin Edwards still on the floor. There's another missed free throw here from Kirk. We got a jam-packed Yokohama Arena, and why not? 2 of the very best slugging it out for the title. It just shows you the growth of the sport of basketball here. Newbill will misfire. Tip goes to Hiyajima. Makoto can't deliver. Chakuli up high. Onodera deep 3. Misses everything. No save there from Alex Kirk.
Now starting RYUKYU, number 3, UTSUNOMIYA.
Let's see if they start to pick up on that, because right now, as they send in Tatsuya Ito, they're still trying to go with their speed. Takeuchi in the ball game now, replacing Edwards, as you expected. No early three here. Getting inside the paint, the floater, not gonna work that time for Takashima. Let's see if they try to go inside the paint. Tatsuya Ito a little bit too strong. Alex Kirk with the putback.
Second personal, team 4. UTSUNOMIYA has now penalty situation.
Clearly a foul there from Ogawa. That's his second. With still 4:39 to go, BREX in the penalty. But another missed free throw here from Kirk. I would have cut it down to a single-digit disadvantage. Foul's going to be called there, and Vic Law, he doesn't like it.
Number 4, Vic Law, first personal, team 3rd.
Let's see if the Golden Kings can try to take advantage. Once again, DJ. That swarming defense. Little sidestepping move, and Law delivers. You can see Grant Jarrett actually wasn't able to go back down and help out defensively, and he now hobbles to the sideline.
And number 33, Gavin Edwards.
Looks like he stepped on the foot of Tatsuya Ito right before that collision. He's hoping it's just a simple sprain. We'll check on that development as action is back here. And again, Ogawa looking for space. They'll send it around. DJ steps back, puts up a three. Yes! Already 20 points for DJ Newbill. Almost at a steal there. Just like that, it's back to an 11-point lead. Law tries to take it inside, goes to the wing. Wacky open three. Those are the shots he needs to make. Just trying to stop the action there was Wacky. Off a foul on Ogawa. That's going to be number 3 though on the Phenom. Matsuaki also checking in. That'll give some additional firepower from deep for the Golden Kings. At the point now, the youngster Ogawa. DJ Newbill will bring it out. Looking for a running start here against Vic Law. Gavin Edwards back on the floor. Newbill inside. That's good hands from Maluma. Both teams now in the penalty. More than enough time for a decent catch and shoot. Off this baseline inbound, Ogawa doing the chore. Okitani saying, make sure there is no lob. Oh, smart play there from Isaac Fotu. But not able to drop that one, and we're going the opposite direction. So they changed the call. We're going to stay here in this end. Another 14 seconds here on the shot clock, which is now down to 6. Newbill forced that one up. And an offensive foul is going to be called on DJ. Looked like the referee was saying he held on to the body of Viclo. Agree. Well, the referee was right there in the baseline. That happened right in front of him. The 3 falls. A Newbill as well. Matsuwaki with the jumper. That'll drop. Here's Ogawa inside. That's a strong finish. And the sky's the limit for him. Approaching the 2-minute mark. Vic. Not enough English on that one. Aluma picks it up. Ito. Floater. No. That's a nice rebound by Gavin. He'll bring it on himself. Ogawa once again brings it out. Up against the defense of Aluma. Nice look. Fotu to the wing. Extra pass. Defense having to react, and DJ, another layup. Matsuwaki from deep, just short. He can make that from that distance, just not that time. DJ inside, felt there was contact, put it up, no call. Aluma in the open court, that might be a charge. No question about that call. That was clearly an offensive foul. And what's nice about him, you mentioned this, is, you know, he thinks the game, just doesn't play it. Here's Ogawa once again. Fotu will give it up. Almost a steal. It is. Counter steal. We're going the Kings' way. One of the few turnovers so far for BREX, only their 5th. So they're going to look for possession here.
ここで先ほどのアウトオブバウンズラストタッチについてビデオ判定により確認をいたします。
A lot of coaches would want to hold on to that coach's challenge
ヘッドコーチチャレンジが
for a really crucial play, especially in the fourth period. But I guess Coach Zico wants to make sure they get the ball back right here.
ビデオ判定を行っているモニターの状況を場内上でも掲示をしており
Who
ます。
was that off?
チームの競技規則にのっとってビデオ判定
Hard to tell.
この機材に入った映像のみで判定は行われ、映像確認により確証が得られた場合のみ判定を修正することが可能です。先ほどのアウトオブバウンズラストタッチを確認します。
That might be off the arm of Jack Cooley. But on the way out, did it graze the arm of Takashima? That's what the officials are saying. Hence the call on the floor. Here's the call.
アウトオブバウンズ宇都宮ボールという判定です。
So Coach Zico got what he wanted. Possession for his squad. He must feel this is a turning point because using up your challenge this early. Ooh, traveling is going to be called here. Well, either way, we're going King's ball. Approaching the 30-second mark here in the third. Aluma, short on that three. Out in the open court. Power move there. Aluma with the foul. That's right. A foul was already called on Waki. That's his fourth. But again, Aluma could be saying that I wanted to make sure that there was no three-point play. And here comes that review that you were expecting.
Foul. Foul review number 18, Waku Mazudo. そして先ほどのファウルのグレードについてビデオ判定で確認をいたします。
That's a good question. There was the foul already.
ワーク選手のファウルのグレードについてビデオ判定で確認をしています。
Foul was called.
ビデオ判定を行っているモニターの状況を場内上で掲出をしております。
Well, first and foremost is we got to find out if the officials say it is an unsportsmanlike foul. If it is, quite definitely, possession will stay here after some free throws. There was the initial foul. Ooh, they're calling it just a regular foul, so that simplifies things. Just 2 free throws. But Waki will have to leave this game with his 4th personal.
宇都宮number 9、遠藤祐介。RYUKYU number 9、荒川颯。Free throw shot from UTSUNOMIYA number 42.
I guess they're figuring it's the finals, it's the playoffs. Isaac makes the first. Misses the second. Still, it's a 15-point advantage. 14-point advantage, check that. Final seconds of this one. Talking about the third period. Maybe not the best of shots there. Still an opportunity. Endo throws it up. That's gonna fall short. Let's see if the Kings are able to work out the kinks when we come back. Final quarter underway here at the Yokohama Arena. This is game number 1 between the RYUKYU Golden Kings and UTSUNOMIYA BREX. Hang on to your seats as we are gearing on for an exciting finish. Ito gets away. Go ahead, Josh.
That's a very good start. I was just about to say, before Tetsuya Ito made that penetration, momentum is so important for them. 10 minutes. You've got to go possession by possession, but defensively, they've got to prevent BREX from getting any more offensive boards.
The first time Tetsuya Ito was able to find some daylight. Gets away from Ogawa. Can't complete the three-point play, but Jack Cooley's there. But he's going to be called for the push. So a good sign for BREX is Grant Jarrett is back on the floor.
Well, that's a huge sign for them because, I think I've been very critical of him is, he's quite a volume three-point shooter, especially for his position, but where he's very invaluable, I think he can become a solid rim protector inside the paint.
Oh, that's for sure. And the fans are just happy that their team is at full strength for the final push here in the fourth.
BREX can close this game out here in the next few minutes, but they've got to be clinical on offense.
Nice dribbling and getting away once again with an easy layup is Ogawa.
Anthony, let's not forget, he's 22 years old, double crossover, and simply sliced up the entire Golden Kings defense.
I'm shaking my head in disbelief. Matsuwaki for three.
Cooking time from Okinawa. Could be that time of the game, Anthony. We've seen this time and time again from the Golden Kings.
It's winning time. Edwards comes out, gives it up to DJ. Will get it back, puts up a three of his own, and answers, and a foul's going to be called on Jack Cooley. 4-point play on the way.
I did say first few minutes close it out, but this has always been the issue. It's the same high ball screen. any big, whether it's Grant Jarrett or Gavin Edwards, they pop out, and the Golden Kings haven't figured this one out in the entire game.
That's the third time we've seen a foul on a three-point shooter today. And the lead's now at 15, at 65-50. Aluma
Just need a little bit more movement in their offense, Anthony. Just let the ball move. Enough of this isolation basketball.
Let's see. Ito puts up a three. Oh, check that. That's Matsuwaki. That's his second.
If there was ever a time to stop making them, now is definitely the time. Remember, game one, regardless of what happens tonight, Golden Kings don't want to have their backs up against the wall in game two.
Bounce pass. Almost didn't get there, but a foul will be called. That might be in Matsuwaki.
It's not the worst foul to give away, but I think the disappointing thing is not coming up with a steal. But here's another look at the three-pointer. He's got to keep on making those if they're going to come back.
And if he does, that's also going to open up things for the big men inside, like Jack Cooley and Alex Kirk.
See, Anthony, you and I understand why Dayo Katani's not so animated, because he must do yoga or something to reduce his anxiety, because he's seen his team time and time again make the most impossible comebacks.
He's hoping for another one here in game number one. Newbill inside, that's too easy.
That's the accountability again, the man-to-man defense. You got to fight around that screen. You just cannot give a wide open lane to DJ Newbill.
That's actually the second layup. Ogawa had one about a minute earlier. They go to Aluma. Quick double. Ito finds Kevy. A little bit too strong on that three attempt.
That's a good offense, though. Double team came over. Aluma got rid of it quickly. They get a wide open look. You can't fault those offenses from Golden Kings.
Well, they got the open shot. They need to make it then. Again, another layup. This time a little bit too strong from Ogawa, though. Aluma will try to bring it inside. That's his strength. The layup, though, falls to Endo.
So the fatigue factor, I think, just setting in with the Golden Kings, not having that depth that the BREX have. And this is where I mentioned BREX can close it out very, very quickly.
They set up Grant. Grant for three. Yes! Nothing but the bottom of the net.
How many threes is that now, Anthony? 12, 13?
For them, that is number 14.
Wow.
The lead has now ballooned to 17. And once again, a long talk here with Coach Oketani.
So we haven't seen much of Taeda so far here in this game in the backcourt. This is desperately what Golden Kings have missed. Somebody to be just a solid point guard to calm things down for the offense.
Well, he played very sparingly in the first half. Pocket pass. Extra one there goes to Kirk. But once again, going to his most uncomfortable spot, the free throw line here, Josh.
But Anthony, is that probably not the best half-court set we've seen all game from the Golden Kings?
Agreed.
It's collective, it's moving together, it's a bull screen. And if they play like this more often, the offense is going to be more fluid for them in Game 2.
So things for them to pick up as Gavin Edwards picks up his 4th personal foul. Another miss here for Kirk. So far, the Golden Kings, Josh,
not a bad foul.
that's true. And so far, they have already missed 9 free throws.
Wow, 9 free throws. Think about it. It's an 8-point bowl game with 6:45 to go if you make all of those.
Even just half, Josh, this would have been a little bit more competitive of a game heading into the final minutes.
Well, I just think the key talking points at the end of this game, regardless of what happens, is Dayo Gutani's got to figure out a way. Listen, 1 through 5, we've got to switch. No more hedging because every player on this BREX team is a 3-point threat. And number 2, they've just got to find a little bit more structure to their offense. It's too much isolation with Vic Law and dependency on the likes of Jack Cooley.
Josh, how crucial is this going to be? Gavin Edwards heads to the bench, and Takeuchi in for some quality minutes.
With a 16-point lead, they'll try and live the first few minutes to see how it rides out for them.
DJ Newbill from deep, no. Grant Jarrett, another offensive rebound. Open 3, Makoto.
Miscommunication.
Another long rebound going the way of BREX. Ugawa using clock. Can't find any space. Puts up a deep one. Another long rebound. Collared this time by Law.
I think that's fatigue there. You can see 2 offensive rebounds given away and, complete miscommunication on defense.
Matsuaki, that's big. That's his 3rd 3.
And they've all come here in the 4th quarter, so it gives them a little bit of belief.
They're still down by 13. Yajima using some clock. Some nifty dribbling, gets away from the defense, kicks it out. Ogawa for 3. Just short. Here's Shogo inside. Trying to push the pace, quicken it a little bit. Law up against Takeuchi, almost lost it, and does.
Still 5:06, but I go back to what I say there. The rotation's completely different in this team, and these key players for the Golden Kings, whether it's Vic Law or Jack Cooley, Cooley's got to come back in, because quite clearly, without him on the floor, there's no inside presence here for the Golden Kings, but they don't get enough respite.
So Cooley back in, and at the same time, a little bit more veteran leadership as Yusuke Endo replaces Ogawa. Under 5 minutes to be played. Makoto, no look pass. It's back out with DJ once again. Grant, that's a deep 3. Hits another one.
Well, that might be, as they say in Japan, Ayasu Minasai, the 3-point shooting, 15-3. Simply a breathtaking sight from the 2-time B.LEAGUE champions.
And that scintillating shooting has given them this huge advantage heading into the final 5 minutes of game number 1. Final 5 minutes of game number 1 as we take a look at these numbers. 15 threes made here by UTSUNOMIYA BREX as compared to just 5 for the Golden Kings. That has been a major stat here today. 10 more made threes. Matsuwaki puts up a prayer short. Kirk reaches out for it. Baby hook works.
See, anything right now just to stay in the game mentally, because I see a similarity when we saw Hiroshima make that comeback in game 1, only to lose to Golden Kings last year.
Nice block there for Gavin Edwards. Being active still defensively, despite the fact that he's got 4 personal fouls.
Hey, remember, those two were teammates when they lost to Golden Kings back in 2023, and Vic Lowe, I'm not quite sure how he ended up leaving Chiba Jets, but hey, that might be a case of we could have won it had you stayed.
That's true. Right now on opposite ends of the spectrum. Gavin Edwards at 37 can still get up there. Cooley with a handoff. Shogo gets away.
It's a good 4-0 run now from the Golden Kings, but now they have to really rely on the defensive discipline principles to try and edge it this one even further.
Under 4 minutes to be played.
Only 1 foul to give as well.
On the outside, they're going to give it up. Fotu launches. No. Door still ajar. Matsuwaki comes up just short, and a foul is going to be called on Isaac. Trying to box out Jack Cooley.
And that is just monumental work from Jack Cooley, because he knows he's only got a 10-15% chance of getting that offensive rebound. But he puts Fotu under pressure, who has no choice but to commit a foul. And this gives the Kings a possession back baseline.
Both squads with 3 team fouls each. Second personal called on Isaac. Law to trigger this one in. Gets it to Shogo. Looked like Taira was going to look for his shot. Kirk comes out to set the pick. 2-man game. Law had to put this one up. Well short of the mark.
They should have got into a ball screen scenario much quicker. They just take too long in their offense, the Golden Kings.
That's another thing they've got to adjust for game number 2. But still, the outcome here, hanging in the balance. Edwards almost lost it and does. That's off his shin.
So I'm just sensing. BREX remind me of RYUKYU in game 1. I said this already against Hiroshima last season when they led by 20. What they don't want to do is just let this become very scrappy, because we saw how Hiroshima came out in both games 2 and 3 to win that championship.
Taira gives it up. Cooley won't challenge from there. 2-man game. Are they going to find Jack? They can't. Eventually they do.
The Golden Kings just need to keep on fighting. It's a 6-0 run. Whatever they get out of this game, take it as confidence going into game 2.
Lead still at 10. Almost a steal. It's completed. Taira in the open court. To the wing. Almost picked off. It is.
Wow.
That's great hands from Makoto. Hiyajima left wide open. No. He's going to use some precious seconds first. Plus he's got Jack Cooley.
Hiyajima.
Open 3. Endo. Bang.
Anthony, I just wonder, how close was Makoto Hiyajima's feet to the line when saving that one from going out of bounds? Because if he wasn't, that just has a monumental impact to how this game is going to finish.
Yes, it did. Especially with that 3 from Endo. It's now a 13-point advantage. And the BREX looking to hang on here in game number 1 as we enter the final 2 minutes in a bit. Exactly 2 minutes remaining here in this one. 76 for BREX, 63 for the Golden Kings. It's winning time, Josh.
And both teams have a big point to prove in this finals. Remember, the BREX had the best record last season with 51 victories, only to lose in the quarterfinals against Togashi and the Jets. While Golden Kings, I mean, they were heavy favorites to win in the finals last season against the Dragonflies and only to lose. So this game one may go to the BREX, but indeed, I can tell you right now, the party is only just getting started as we head into game two tomorrow.
As early as now, we'd like to invite you. 12 noon Philippine time, game number 2. Game number 1 still to be settled here this afternoon. Law puts up a 3. They need this one, and he gets it to go.
Still quite a big hill to go, down by 10. We've only got one foul to give.
Now, managing the clock is the most important here for BREX. Jarrett holding on to it. They go inside. Gavin Edwards. Boy, he got the mismatch there off the switch with Matsuaki.
And that's the difference between these two teams. The patience in the offense and the spacing, finding that mismatch.
Taking a lot of time here. They need to score quickly. Matsuaki with a little nudge. Gives it out. Taira. From 15 feet, yes.
I'm afraid to say, Anthony, it's just a little too late. But again, I'll say this. Take whatever positives from this final minute and use it as motivation going into game 2.
They've got to blitz him. They've got to force the turnover. And then there's a foul from Taira.
I didn't need the foul there. It's the last foul to give away, and you just give them a fresh 14 on the shot clock. I think
Exactly.
That's a very poor move.
Not to mention the fact that they were actually doing quite well defensively. They would have gotten the stop. Could have. But now another 14 seconds to burn here as Waki sent back in by Coach Okitani.
He's got 4 fouls, but I think it's all irrelevant at this point. But I think what's also impressive tonight, we talk about the imperious three-point shooting from the two-time champions, the BREX. It's 15 threes made tonight. They're nowhere near breaking their record, which is a B.LEAGUE finals record. And a big thank you to Kazuya Nishikawa, our colleague. They made 21 threes against the Golden Kings in the 2021 finals.
DJ Newbill taking his time, gets fouled. And is going to head to the line for 2 more shots off that foul coming from Shogo.
It's quite a hard foul to give away, but I like the no reaction there from DJ Newbill because tempers could have fled quite quickly. And, wow, it's a hard foul indeed.
But with 42 seconds remaining here, they might not take another 3, so they might not be able to get to that record. They're at 16 right now. Talking about those 3s made. You can see Coach Kevin's seat, again, remains unoccupied. They're trying to win it for him.
Absolutely. I think it's a beautiful legacy that these UTSUNOMIYA BREX players, it's about making history not only for themselves as individuals, the club, but also in memory of, as many will tell you, I never had the fortune of meeting him, but everyone I've spoken to, and I'll say this time and time again, they always say he was a great player when he played in Europe or played in New Zealand, but was a fantastic human being.
He will definitely be missed. But right now, seems like his players are playing doubly hard just to make sure that it's a successful season. Law almost lost it. Put up a prayer there. Cooley can't get that to go, and looks like they're going to dribble this one out. Oh, foul's going to be called on Waki. For what? Time down to just 22. And they're down by 11.
I think that's more of a kind of knee-jerk reaction from Masahiro Waki. I think they've They kind of felt with a minute to go that the outcome was going to be inevitable, but as I said, key thing for them is go back to the hotel tonight in Yokohama, get a good dinner, get some rest, and finally come ready and bring your A game in Game 2 tomorrow. We want to see this series go to a 3-game series because every finals we've had has been very competitive, apart from the 2023 finals in which the Chiba Jets was swept by the Golden Kings. But if you take away the three-point shooting tonight and improve the free throw shooting for the Golden Kings, this could be a very different outcome.
Oh, for sure.
Because we just saw Ishikawa come into the game, another young player, and again, you got to credit. I've given a lot of credit to both the Chiba Jets and the UTSUNOMIYA BREX for the entirety of the season, because whenever you have a pathway, and Takashima's a part of that pathway as well as Ogawa, it's great to see young players not only getting in the mix, but also becoming crucial and very important components of the team and how they've progressed this season.
You're talking about Ishikawa, who's only 20 years old and already playing at the highest level here in Japan.
Surrounded by veterans, but also they have the sensei. They have Yuta Tabuse on that lineup, the first ever Japanese-born NBA player.
Oh, I saw him a while ago. Vic Law from deep. That rattles out. And they're going to dribble this one out. And that's the youngster you're talking about, Ishikawa.
Well, great win for the BREX. Fantastic three-point shooting. But Anthony, Game 2 is only 24 hours away. And let's hope this goes to a Game 3 because we love the B.LEAGUE finals, especially here in Yokohama.
Well, we want to see more basketball, that's for sure. Don't tell that to the BREX fans, though. They want to end this as quickly as possible. But for the Golden Kings, well, if they want to hoist the title, they're going to have to go the full route of 3 games.
Because what a legacy it would be for the BREX, and to do it for that man who truly was a magnificent human being. Gone, but never ever will be forgotten. BREX now 1 win away from making history, becoming the first B.LEAGUE team to win 3 championships.
Josh, look at that third quarter scoring here by RYUKYU. Only 10 points, their output. That's a very low mark in the finals, especially for one of the top teams here in the league.
Oh, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of components that go down to that. We can talk about the three-point shooting that wasn't existent in that third quarter, much better in the fourth. But the rotation, the depth with the BREX is much greater than the Golden Kings, and I think we definitely saw the fatigue factor settle in the third.
So BREX halfway there for Coach Kevin, winning this one 81-68. We're going to hear from Coach Zico in a while and some of the players from UTSUNOMIYA. As you see the dejected squad of the Golden Kings making their way to the locker room.
They've also made a lot of changes from last season, which, the core of those players went to 3 consecutive finals. Naoki Tashiro went to Chiba Jets. Of course, the biggest loss was Keita Imamura going to Nagoya, but if it's one thing I'll say about the Golden Kings, I can almost hear Jeff Goldblum speaking in Jurassic Park. They will find a way.
So far they have. Again, there you can see on your screens 1300 Japan time is game number 2. But first and foremost, we have one of today's heroes for BREX, Atsuya Ogawa.
それではインタビューの準備が整いましたので、ここからは選手たちの声に耳を傾けましょう。
それでは横浜アリーナにお越しの皆様、放送配信をご覧の皆様、勝利しました宇都宮ブレックス、まずは背番号7、小川敦也選手です。小川選手、この大歓声です。第一戦勝利しました。今のお気持ちいかがでしょうか。
はい、今日、出だしのところちょっと、スロースタートだったんですけど、ベンチから、出る選手自分だったりっていうのが、アグレッシブにプレーすることができたので、それを引き続き明日も続けたいなと思います。
ご自身は3本のスリーポイント含む15得点、自身のプレー振り返ってください。
はい、スリーポイントのところは、空いたら打つって決めていたので、それが、入ったのでよかった ですけど、それを、明日も引き続き打ち続けたいなと思います。
これでいよいよチャンピオンへ真の王手となりました。最後にぜひ明日に向けての意気込みもお願いいたします。
はい、本当に明日勝たないと意味がないので、明日も全力で戦いますのでよろしくお願いします。
アグレッシブなプレーを見せてくれました小川敦也選手でした。そしてこの方にも登場していただきます。続きましては背番号6比江島誠選手です。宇都宮としては3シーズンぶりのファイナルの舞台となりました。比江島選手はどんな思いでこのコートに上がりましたか？
はい、このコートでファイナルの舞台でプレーできるということは本当に幸せなことですし、今シーズンでかける思いは強いので、そういった感謝の気持ちを持ちながらしっかりプレーできたんじゃないかなと思います。
比江島選手、ブレックスファンもものすごい声援を送ってくださいました。応援の力というのはどのようなパワーに変わりましたか？
本当にまるでホームコートのような声援を送っていただいて、僕らもすごく力になったので、はい、いつも感謝してます。ありがとうございます。
さあ、まだ明日があります。ケビンヘッドコーチもきっと見守ってくれていると思います。明日は比江島選手、どんなプレーを見せてくれますか？最後にお願いします。
はい、明日勝たないと本当に意味がないですし、明日以上のエナジーを持って、オフェンス面の方でしっかり僕も引っ張っていけるようにしっかりプレーして必ず優勝したいなと思います。
力強い言葉ありがとうございました。比江島誠選手でした。
それでは続きましてチーム最多25得点を挙げました DJ ニュービル選手です。勝利おめでとうございます。第一戦を取った今の気持ちいかがですか？
I mean, it was a great win, but we still got to win tomorrow, or we got to get 2 wins, and job's not finished yet.
今日は素晴らしい勝利でしたけれども、やはり2勝しないと意味がないので、また明日勝てるように頑張りたいと思います。
25得点、何が一番ご自身のプレー良かったでしょうか？
Best play. I just think just defensively, not just me, but the whole team brung it, and I think our defense really helped us out today.
自分自身だけじゃなくて、チーム全体としてすごくディフェンスが良かったと、そこが多分勝因だと思っています。
最後にニュービル選手自身初めてとなる B リーグチャンピオンへの思い聞かせてください。
It's a great environment. It's good to see all the fans come out, especially the BREX fans. Thank you for coming out, and we'll see you tomorrow.
この素晴らしい環境でできるという試合ができるということをすごく嬉しく思っています。ブレックスファンの皆さん、本当に応援ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。それではコロネルヘッドコーチ代行です。勝利おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
勝因は何だったでしょうか？
We have great people. We played super hard and we played together.
すごくハードにプレーして素晴らしい選手たちが揃っていますし、一緒にチームとしてまとまって戦えたということが一番良かったと思います。
チームとしてスリーポイントシュートが本当によく決まりました。この要因は何だったでしょうか？
I mean, I didn't really want to talk about the threes. We can talk about that in a day's time, but the backbone of what we have to do has to be our defense and rebounding.
スリーポイントのことは、 いろんな結果というかあるので、なかなかそのことについて話すのは難しいですけれども、やはりディフェンス、リバウンド、そこがやはりそのスリーポイントにもつながったんじゃないでしょうか。
さあ明日に向けて選手たちにはどんな言葉をこの後かけたいですか？
They already know, like, we didn't come here to win one game. We come here to win a series. Less than half the work is done. We have to be better tomorrow.
選手たちもみんなもう分かってくれていると思いますけれども、自分たちは一勝するためにここに来たわけではないので、もう一勝を取って、シリーズ勝ちきれるようにしていきたいと思います。
ありがとうございました。コロネルヘッドコーチ代行に伺いました。インタビューは以上です。放送席どうぞ。
Well, there you heard from Coach Zico Coronel. At the same time, a while ago, Makoto Hijima talked about the fact that they were happy to be able to play in the finals. They were happy to win game number 1. They thanked the fans. They said, this is not our home. But it sure seemed like it. Sure seemed like this is their arena. A whole lot of people, their supporters have come here to the Yokohama Arena, and it did look like a home game, Josh.
Yeah, and I think that was down to the fact they finally found some consistency in the three-point shooting. I mean, tonight they ended up finishing with, 16 out of 39 from the perimeter. I mean, they're always going to be a volume three-point shooting team if you watch them in the regular season. But I just think we're going to see, unless they can shoot like this tomorrow, they will automatically win game 2. If not, this could go very well to a game 3.
There's Yuta Tabuse on your screens. And a while ago, Ogawa was the first to be interviewed, and he talked about the fact that he said the beginning was quite slow as far as they were concerned, but the bench helped out. He played aggressive, and he said the three-point shots were so much better for them today. That was real key, Josh. And again, you could see Coach Zico actually didn't even want to talk about the three-point shooting because I don't think he wanted to jinx his squad.
No, and I think that's the thing you have to really admire and respect about Coach Zico Coronel. He always conducts himself in such a highly professional manner. He did this at the end of Game 1 when they defeated Chiba Jets. He knows full well, and he's not just saying this for the camera because, listen, they're in the finals for a reason, but also are the RYUKYU Golden Kings. So I think, look, he tries to keep his team at an emotional balance of 0. Not too high, not too low. So I think he's anticipating Golden Kings will be coming ready for a fight tomorrow with their backs up against the wall.
That's key, because when you play against a team that's got nothing to lose anymore, you know they're going to really claw back. And that's right, what he said is, yes, we've won 1 game, but to win the championship, you need 2 games. So, yes, we're halfway there, but we actually haven't achieved anything yet.
You also got to take into consideration, I think, you know, he's probably aware of what, I mean, he was an assistant coach last season with the late, great Kevin Bracewell under head coach Coach Sasanorio. Noting that the Golden Kings were heavy favorites and they won Game 1, we saw our Games 2 and 3 coming. So I think, if anything, he just wants to keep his team very cool, calm, and collected going into a final game.
And I think that's the right attitude. You know, you haven't really achieved too much. The goal is really the championship more than anything else. And so we can celebrate, we can talk about so many things after we're holding on to the trophy.
And Game 2 will be another test to the Okinawa legacy, knowing that this team, I mean, Anthony, you have the fortune of commentating one of the best leagues in the world, the Philippine Basketball Association. And if I can make any comparison to how Golden Kings are, it's the great Jaworski and Ginebra, the never say die attitude. We'll see if that comes to play tomorrow in Game 2 for Golden Kings.
Well, it definitely did so far here in the playoffs. They wouldn't be here. It wasn't for that never say die spirit of theirs, especially that Hail Mary of a shot from Matsuwaki to send Game 2 into overtime, and eventually they send it to a Game 3.
I think another thing fans should take into consideration as well is that these two teams, along with Alvak Tokyo, after qualifying, winning the Empress Cup, they will play the continental competition of the East Asia Super League, and that will put more games to the schedule, no doubt about it. But if you have to remember, the premium competition, the winner of this finals, will indeed go to the FIBA Basketball Champions League Asia. We've already got the qualifiers from the CBA, the KBL, and the PBA. Finding out now who is going to be the best representation from the B-League, that's going to be interesting.
And that's very critical for these two squads. They want to be able to represent Japan in the Champions League. And so, even more resting on the shoulders of these players come game number 2.
Definitely a quick turnaround. If you compare the finals in the B-League compared to the KBL and CBA, there's not a lot of respite. The good thing, though, is if the Golden Kings do win Game 2, there will be a day break where they can just rest and recuperate to go into that final third game decider.
And I tip my cap to the B-League for actually doing that, because that's asking too much from the players to have to play on a Monday. Usually it's on a Monday, but today, actually for this year, they wanted to have a break here for these players to be able to make sure that they are able to recover for game number 3. That is, if there's a game number 3, of course.
I think you only have to go back to the finals in 2023 when Golden Kings did defeat Chiba Jets. You could just see in that, I think it was last year actually when we saw it. Or maybe it was 2023, my mind is a bit boggled at the moment. You could definitely see in that third game decided both teams just trying to get over the finish line. But I think if it's one thing that BREX showed in the fourth quarter when the Golden Kings did make that comeback, they finally have learned the lessons. The disappointment after winning the championship in 2022, only to have a 32 winning season in 2023. But last season was heartbreak. The #1 record in the B-League. And of course, losing in 3 games to Yuki Togashi and the Jets. Have they learned the lessons, Anthony? We'll find out tomorrow.
Well, quite sure. As we're still taking a look at some of the highlights, Matsuwaki was able to catch fire in the fourth quarter, and that was able to bring them back. That made this game a little bit more competitive. But again, Grant Jarrett hitting that big 3 there to answer the 3 of Matsuwaki, and they cruised from that time on.
Shot selection's got to be key. I mean, we know that Golden Kings are unpredictable. That is the way they like to play. But if you think about getting high percentage looks, whether that's in transition, that has got to be something they talk about going into tomorrow's game, which is a do-or-die game for them.
Again, Josh, you kept touching on the fact that they need to go inside. That's their strength. Jack Cooley, Alex Kirk. You think they're going to make that change?
Well, they're going to have to, because if you notice, anytime they do go for a post entry, there's always a quick UTSUNOMIYA BREX double team coming from the weak side or even from the primary defender of the post entry. But what the Golden Kings have to do a better job of, when double teams come, you've got to pass out of it quickly, because at that point, you've got an advantage of momentum or a wide open player.
They're going to definitely need more 3s than the 6 here as we take a look at the numbers of game number 1. Quite close, really.
I believe that's Sayando, who's just made a transfer. I think he's going to Yokohama next season.
So far, still one of the best players here in Japan, part of the national squad.
But also something that he possesses that's a bit different from most players in the B-League, just like Yudai Baba when he was teammates of Alex Kirk at Alvac Tokyo, winning not only a B-League championship 2 times, but also winning what is now known as the Champions League, was then known as the FIBA Asia Champions Cup. So be interested to see how he goes and plays with Lassi Tuovi next season in Yokohama.
As we take a look at the numbers, only 8 turnovers for the BREX as compared to 14 for the Golden Kings. The Golden Kings were able to manage their turnovers, though.
Well, I think the turnover count, of course, you see there's 15 points from the turnovers coming from UTSUNOMIYA BREX, but I think only 8 coming from Golden Kings is a big difference. But, you know, 20-second chance points, 32 points in the paint for the Golden Kings, something they dominated in this game. But I think we know the key difference, Anthony. They're going to have to try to defend the pick and pop much better, because 16 3-point field goals is going to win you any game in the B-League any day of the week.
Look at that. It's a big discrepancy. 41% shooting from 3 as compared to just 26. Not to mention the fact that UTSUNOMIYA BREX also took a whole lot more. 16 more, in fact.
I mean, they are a volume 3-point shooting team. We've seen that from day one, that opening game at the Lala Tokyo Bay Arena against Yuta Watanabe and Togashi, the Chiba Jets. But if it's one thing I've noticed, BREX not always consistent from the 3-point line. Yes, they have the best 3-point shooter in the league in Makoto Hiyajima. But if they shoot like this tomorrow, it's wrapped up. They'll be 3-time B-League champions.
One more point of concern, Josh, is the fact that the Golden Kings were only 12 out of 21 from the free throw line, shooting 57%. You cannot miss that many free throws.
And that might be a defensive strategy here for BREX. If you find someone like Alex Kirk, who, you know, is a fantastic player, if you're going to send him to the free throw line, it's not always a bad foul. But as you mentioned, Anthony, you don't want to look back on this final and think, have we shot better from the free throw line? We could have taken our second B-League championship. Free throws, you just simply have to make them.
And there you have the numbers. Individually, DJ Newbill with 25 points, 18 points for Vic Law. In terms of rebounding, Kirk with 12. And we have Hiyajima with 6. 6 assists for Newbill and 3 assists for Tatsuya Ito. Ito needs to be able to a little bit more solid in terms of his play because a lot is expected of Tatsuya.
I think another disappointing thing is Golden Kings could have had 3 players with double-doubles. Vic Law and Alex Kirk were very close to coming. Only Jack Cooley finished with a double-double. So even when you have that stat line and you still lose by the amount you did, you just have to credit to what an elite, great professional team UTSUNOMIYA BREX are.
One final thought from you, Josh, before we call it a day.
Well, I've just put it on Twitter. I'm going to say this right now. Game 1 was won last year by the Golden Kings, but Hiroshima came back. Game 1 this season won by the BREX. Anthony, the party is only getting started. We're going to have a break, but we will be back in 24 hours for Game 2.
And that's going to do it for our coverage. We'd like to thank all of you for joining us here this afternoon. Till tomorrow, take care. Have a good afternoon ahead. God bless.